I don't often have games that are really, really high quality, but occasionally your opponent won't put a lot of pressure on you and will make life easy. So let's go in, and as soon as we make it through the opening, do a pause your video type thing to see if you can't retrace footsteps in this blitz game where it had me north of 97% accuracy. And keep in mind, if you're using these scores to see how strong your play is, they're not that great. There's always room for improvement, so let's see if we can find any. All right, that being said, let's dive in to this so far almost symmetrical game. And black has lots of options with d5, d6, but I went with ideas from my Benoni course with c5, and white decides to grab this pawn. So already you have a few options, again, to play for, as white has less control in the center. And being I play the ready, colors reversed, I'm used to these types of ideas with knight a6, so I just want to get the pawn back. Now my opponent plays bishop e3. Take your time from here on out. Try to come up with moves that you find are most accurate in the position. Try to break it down. So here I only had two candidate moves. Attack the pawn again, or two themes I'm considering that kind of draw my attention to candidate moves. So queen c7, queen a5, knight g4 are the main moves. Bishop e3 kind of gives a, well, space left behind vibe. But knight g4 is met by bishop d4, and not a fan of that outcome. Queen a5 could likely be met by c3, so if knight takes c5, b4, don't like that either. So I just want to attack the pawn, queen c7, no rush. Opponent goes knight bd2, next move's pretty easy. Follow-up continuation of my plan, I just want my pawn back and I want to improve my knight. This move I highly question. It's an open position. Don't trade pieces off. Now my queen's even a little bit better on c5, giving me more flexibility. Okay, so you don't want my queen there. Maybe not the best square for the knight. Let's just go back. She's very flexible on c7. We're keeping an eye on c2 with the open file. That could be a potential problem later. All right, you're making a lot of sense with c3. So here is probably where I lost my couple percentage points from a 100% perfect game where the engine would likely prefer a move like d5. But I wanted to limit the counterplay of the knight. Following Steinitz rule, if you take away the forward squares of the knight, it's not a good piece. It's not an attacking piece. But if I play b6 immediately, there could be some discoveries on my rook. So I put these ideas together and said, all right, rook b8. My opponent goes e3, securing more pawns on the same color as my dark square bishop. No counterplay, no aggression. I'm going to continue with my plan, b6. Now after knight fd4, I see the potential of this knight coming to b5 as annoying, so I take it away. After queen e2, I understand that I'm going to be able to play e5 and d5, and I want to set up the best way to do this and get all of my pieces involved. I definitely don't want to play bishop b7, as the potential, once this d-pawn moves, of my bishop coming to g4 with tempo could be useful, versus this bishop is just hitting air. Nothing to worry about. Rook d8. On rook fd1, shuts down the eye of the bishop, gets space. Potential counterplay. c4. Stop potential counterplay. Knight d2. Now it's time. e5. How can you make the most out of the position? We have the center. And this is why it's important to maintain a pawn in the center. As early as d takes c5, this is a potential plan. If your opponent gives you the center, you can utilize it this way. So, did you find an aggressive sequence to, in the very least, pick up time? e4, bishop g4, takes. Now what? Well, I wanted key squares for my pieces. h5. If you take me, my knight's going to have a fantastic square on g4. After rook f1, I see the open file as being very useful. The e3 pawn is a big weakness. Pressure the weakness. It's going to be really hard to defend that weakness. He tries. What's best? Can't take with either pawn without more pieces falling off. Opponent resigns. So, relatively high quality game. Felt good about that one, and goes along with themes from Sidelines, from the Benoni Simplified. Take a look at that course if you're interested in more ideas in games like this. Thanks for joining in. If you liked it, learned something, press the like button. Thanks.